Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this session, we are going to discuss about session management function. In the previous lecture, we discussed about access and mobility management function. That is one of the network functions of one of the main network functions of the 5G core service-based architecture. So here, this is one of the other main important fundamental network function we have here, that is session management function. This is a critical 5G core component that performs a fundamental role in the 5G service based architecture. Service based architecture, in short, we'll refer it as SBA. So, SMF is primarily responsible for interacting with the decoupled data plane and creating, updating, and removing protocol data units, that is PDU sessions, and managing session context with the user plane function. So if you want to know about the AMF, access and mobility management function, that is also a network function of a 5G, and that is one of the main network functions of the in the 5G. So if you want to learn more about that, you can just you can just find the link in the description section. So from there you can learn about that and you come back to this later, or you can learn this first and go back to that later. Doesn't make any difference, but it is little more preferred that you should know first about AMF than about SMF. So here is the architecture. We have the architecture here. UE, RAN, UPF, DN, and all these network functions. We discussed about all this in the previous lectures. I have also provided the links for this in the description. You can go through this also and you can understand better. And here we are going to discuss little detailed about the SMF. As we go on with the sessions, we'll be having more and more detailed discussions about about each and every network function and each and every uh, ne network planes, control plane, and the user plane, data plane, and everything. So here we have SMF. So as I said, it is responsible for what? Interacting with the decoupled data plane, creating the PDU, updating, removing the PDU sessions, and managing the session context with between the user plane function. This is SMF. Here we have SMF and user plane function. So it is managing the context between these two. Also, why it is divided into the control plane and the user plane. Just glance to it. If you want to know in a detailed way, you can just put in the comment section. I can come up with a better explanation for you. So here, this is the user plane, and above this is the control plane, and this all this uses the HTTP2 protocol. And here, whatever the protocols we used earlier in the legacy networks or the previous architectures. So reduced latency, the three main advantages, I'll tell you, three or four maybe I'll mention. So this is the control plane and this is the user plane. So why have we decoupled or separated this? So by selecting user plane nodes nearer to the RAN or more appropriate for intended UE usage without the need to increase the control plane nodes. Support for high traffic load by the selective addition of the user plane nodes. And then we have independent evolution of the control plane and the user functions. This independent evolution of what? Control plane is separate and the user plane is separate. These functions are independently the traffic or its evolution. It's getting handled independently. So support software defined networking to deliver user plane data more efficiently. So another major difference with 5G core is that the control plane functions operate in a service based architecture composed of network function that can discover and interact with each other as required. All these network functions, if it is required, then they can communicate with each other, interact with each other if it wants to know anything about each other. So as a result, the 5G core has a different structure to previous generation networks. Sometimes AMF can also act as SMF sometimes, and one network function can perform the multiple functions, multiple functions. Like SMF can also sometimes act like a AMF, because it's just a software. Microservices is just a piece of code, so you can add some more piece of code and make it work as some other network function as well, right? So different structure, this is the different structure to previous generation networks, with control plane functional separation of access and mobility management function and session management function. So we have this session management function. This is the fundamental element of the 5G service based architecture, and also told you the three basic or the primary responsibilities of the functions we have, that it interacts with the decoupled data plane, then PDU session management, and also the managing session context with the user plane function. This SMF interacts with AMF to establish, coordinate, and terminate the PDU session types. Okay, so in 3GPP, if you see, 3GPP specifications have purposefully kept SMF design flexible enough to support multiple 5G use cases. So when UE requests a new session, the UE and the G node B uses the next generation application protocol, that is NGAP, to carry non-access stratum messages, that is NAS messages, across the interfaces, this N1 and N2 reference interfaces, to AMF. And AMF takes care of any connection or mobility management, then passes the request to the SMF. Here we cannot see, but there is a reference interface N11 between AMF and SMF. If you want to know more about the reference based architecture, you can just uh, put it in the comment section. The AMF requires, actually this AMF queries the NRF network repository function, repository function, to choose the most appropriate session management function for each session type. Okay, so both the interfaces, that is the between AMF and NRF, and this whatever I said, that N11 interface, we have it here according to the reference based architecture, but this is a service based architecture. So we have N11 interface between AMF and I'll just put it N11 interface between AMF and SMF. So this uses the service based interface, that is SBI message bus, to while all service based application elements are connected using RESTful APIs over HTTP2 protocol. So all these are connected through a HTTP2 protocol. So we'll discuss about this also in this session. Yeah, this is all about the SMF. In the next session, we'll be discussing about the another network function. We'll discuss about AUSF and UPF respectively. Thank you all for watching this video. If you found it useful, do not forget to subscribe and share it with your colleagues, friends, and classmates. Thank you so much.